Email query next. Balaji says that he regularly utilized his credit card. He also ensured that all the settlements were paid each month before they became EMIs. However, he was once charged an EMI despite making a full payment. He took it up with all the concerned parties, but to no avail. He stopped using that card, but continued receiving calls from the bank for months later. He explained the issue to the executive, but it is yet to be resolved. Now he's been given an itemized bill for the purchases made earlier. Due to this, obviously, his CIBIL score is affected. What should he do? Now, this is a big issue, Kartik, and I'm glad he brought it up as a question. What do you do if your CIBIL score is impacted for no fault of yours?
Okay, so let's take this with a pinch of salt that Balaji thinks that there is no fault of his, but in experience, what I have seen a lot of people, a lot of times, I mean, I'm not saying Balaji is wrong, don't get me wrong here, but what I'm saying is a lot of times people actually don't understand how the charging mechanism is working. So sometimes you may feel you are right, but you actually technically might be wrong. Now let's for a minute assume here, I mean, in all possibility that there is something that did not go wrong with Balaji. Balaji is absolutely right. Now let's sort of go on that scenario. Now, in that sort of a situation, what would you do? You would start writing to the bank. You know, you don't keep talking on the phone. You pick up the email of the ombudsman. There is a certain grievance redressal procedure which you must follow first. So you write to the first level if you're not happy, and there is a turnaround time, it's called a TAT, for every single grievance that you will file with every level of a grievance resolution officer. So you send an email for the first round. If you're not, they'll reply you within some time. You're not happy, move up. You're still not happy, move up. There's yet another level. Right, more or less by the time it reaches the senior most ombudsman, things should get resolved. Maybe somebody will even speak to you. Somebody who understands things better will speak to you instead of you talking to the call center and these loan collection retrieval officers all the time. Maybe they don't understand. Somebody higher up will understand you better. So mostly your resolution should happen. If the resolution does happen, then automatically your CIBIL, you have almost pretty much sorted it out yourself and they will reverse all those things. Now, if nothing works out, before you go to the consumer court, which is a very long process, I'm going to give you a slightly different kind of advice. There are lots of private agencies who are today in the market, and a lot of them do a pretty good job, you see. So you can approach one of them. Now what they will do is, on your behalf, they will pursue the bank, and because they are doing it on an everyday basis, they know all the people in various banks and various credit departments. They will of course make a definite detailed study of whatever is your situation, whatever your problem was. They will scrutinize all your statements to make sure if you are right, they will represent you and they will make sure that your CIBIL is restored to whatever level it was earlier. This is possible, it can be reversed. So don't worry about it, but in the interim you will have some pain. But if you keep talking on the phone, nothing will happen, because talking on the phone does not do anything. You need to get documentation started. So that's a must do. If you don't want to go through this private agency route, of course you'll have to pay a little fee also for that. But if you don't want to go through this route, then of course consumer court is your next route if your ombudsman is not able to solve your problem. But just make sure, even if there's a 1% element that you are wrong, you do your calculations seriously well before you tell the world that, you are wrong and I'm right. So
no, but even then, Kartik, the problem essentially with the CIBIL score is this. Sometime when I've just, at some point in time when I just started earning, I'd got a couple of credit cards, I'd got a mobile phone and all of that. Probably there was this one little payment that I missed.
Yes.
Which I might have missed, which I might have missed by a week or so, and which I've repaid after a point in time.
That's right.
But that black mark will continue on my CIBIL score ad nauseum, from what I gather, and that will impact me. That will actually turn around to bite me in the back when I go to take a home loan, maybe 10 years later, 15 years later. So that is penalizing somebody for, far too long.
Yes, absolutely. You're 100% right, and you unfortunately can't do anything about it, because it's like talking to CIBIL is like, talking to, banging against a wall. There is nobody from CIBIL who will get back to you. If CIBIL says, I don't own the database is owned by all the banks put together, you talk to the bank, they'll say CIBIL is responsible. So, they actually make quite a fool out of you. But this is the fact, this is the reality.
So the private agencies are actually effective? How
yes, you
good
see,
are
what
they?
happens is, now that's where I want to make a point here. If you are right, and even if your record is showing that you are 20 days or 30 days, out of credit, or you were late, like you mentioned in your specific case, that can be reversed, right? But obviously it requires a huge amount of follow-up and somebody to prove your point to the banker by phone saying, hey, look, this is the fact, So you all have done a mistake. What I understand is CIBIL per se is not controlling any of this. So it is the bank who's automatically, the bank's computer says that this payment is delayed. Really bad, it is completely unforgiving and it's completely one-sided where the consumer has no speech, has no representation mechanism or any sort of a redressal mechanism to even prove that, a mishap happened and all of that.
Here's what we've learned. If your CIBIL score, if you have a poor CIBIL score, first figure out why you have the poor CIBIL score.
Yes.
And if you're completely in the right, then start writing letters to the bank, start proving to them that you are in the right. Go level after level. Probably you'll end up talking to someone senior enough who can solve your problem. If not, do remember that the Reserve Bank of India also has an ombudsman who is like the highest authority for redressal per se. So you can actually go to the RBI ombudsman as well. Now that is one thing you can do. The other thing, of course, like Kartik said, there are private agencies in the market who will help fix your CIBIL score for you. They will follow up with CIBIL and the banks, so you don't have to do the running around. So there are two options that you can follow.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.